good?
Of course.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:30 PM. Roll call, please.
Comita?
Here.
Reynolds?
Here.
Landers?
Here.
Haas? Schrader?
Here.
Spinoza? Rapp?
Here. Rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have a motion to approve our regular meeting agenda, please?
I'll make the motion to approve the regular meeting agenda.
Motion second.
Comita?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Here.
Schrader?
Here.
Haas? Rapp? Yes. Landers?
Yep. We do not have any public comment this evening. Okay. All right, moving on, can we have a motion for consent agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including 5.1 disposition of minutes for September 2025, 5.2 payment of bills, 5.3 district treasurer's report, 5.4 in-person activity fund report, cafeteria report, and 5.5 the personnel report.
Roll call.
Rapp? Yes. Schrader?
Yes.
Haas? Landers?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Comita?
Yes. We have 6.1 FOIA requests.
We are still working on a FOIA request from some national think tank about employees, so that's the last thing.
Reports.
Yeah, Blackstone's down there actually, as I mentioned in my update, Stacy's gonna actually present next month. The February meetings we start. Then the next 6 months we'll start into a lot of different presentations from all the different admins, and then as we start the new year, we'll start our travels again, where we'll have our board meetings in the other buildings. So that'll start out in February. Just a couple of notes. I did hear a couple of people talking. I did send that out. The trivia night's back. So make sure you get your teams, get your tables. I know that all have a table, so if anybody is looking to join, just shoot me a text and I'll put you on the team. Which came in a super close second last year, so yeah.
Obviously,
we have-
it's still salty.
You know, they were like ringers, right? It was like, but.
Like tryouts for
But
this team?
I put ringers on my team as well, so I put Tyler.
And still second.
And Missy on my team.
You don't want it on your team.
Yeah. The last meeting, we talked about the possibility of having a joint board meeting social in the high school, and so I spoke with Superintendent Augenbaugh, and I believe their board meeting is Monday. She's going to bring it to them then.
Great.
To see if they want to have some conversation about that. One of the things that we do not have that I'm in the process of setting up is we have we obviously still have a large number of parents who are Spanish only speakers, and in only 2 of our 3 buildings, when you first call in, do you get somebody who's a Spanish speaker? So I'm in the process of setting up a separate district line that when it's called, it only goes directly to Spanish speakers in the organization, so they can take the messages and get the messages directed wherever they need. So we're in the process of that. And by this time next month, I hope to have that set up. And then I know that a couple years ago we had cross country and then esports, having some tentative conversations about maybe we'll call for bowling. Like those were other real high student interests activities. So no promises, but just want to let you know that we're kicking those around.
And was there talk about for next year bringing any of those down a level? I know we had talked about the idea of.
I think, yeah, I think there's the opportunity maybe that cross country will drop down a grade level next year, and possibly esports as well. I mean, we didn't have, we've got about a dozen in each one of those, so if we can expand that a little bit and get some more kids interested, then those are definitely next year.
They're just 7th and 8th right now?
Correct.
different from the others,
No,
the health insurance,
that's the same in all three retirement contracts.
okay.
Yep.
And all retirement contracts.
Yep.
Can you just explain a little bit
Yeah.
about that, because it's different for,
Yeah, of course. And so, several years ago, 3 years ago now, we implemented the ability to have our health insurance to be able to have a cash option for that. Not that anybody has, but the amount that the district provides in covering our health insurance costs, if we wanted to take that as salary, we could. And so that cash option then allows that health insurance to be credited with earnings for our retirement, which is a very good benefit, and we as administrators really appreciate that flexibility in doing that. And so,
and it's only open to admin contracts, correct?
correct.
Okay. And the TRS potential penalty then gets backed out if it exceeds, like it gets backed down to be under the penalty?
Correct. So we were gonna do this over the summer, if you recall. But then as I worked through some things and ran it through one of my attorneys, they were like, there might be some TRS penalty liability here. And so he's like, all right, let's back this out and rethink this and make sure that, kind of double check that the district's covered. And so then kind of went to the back burner and school got started up, and so now I was able to circle back with him and make sure that everything's cleared up. He works very closely with TRS, and so there are a couple of different kind of hard stops in it to make sure that the district wouldn't have any penalties moving forward.
Everybody understand what that means?
Is this a usual thing for admin contracts?
It is not.
No, we started it as kind of a way to give benefit to the admins without costing the district any additional money, because what it's doing is that it's adding it into their salary number for retirement without costing the district any additional dollars.
Correct.
So it becomes credible earnings. If we just paid the straight insurance, that would not be considered earnings to our admins, so it wouldn't contribute to their retirement amount.
I would say currently, less than 10% of admins across the state have this in their contracts. So it's unusual, but not unheard
Unheard of, yeah. It's a newer, I think, concept that kind of similar to when we did with the buyout with some of the vacation days. We added that several years ago too, to allow an option, again, not costing more, but allowing that to benefit. But so TRS sets a limit, right, and you can get a penalty for, so that you're not padding the insurance, or padding their salary amount before retirement. And so there is a clause specifically in the contract that does say if there's to be an incurred penalty, then the take-home amount for the administrator would drop below
Yep.
to then adjust so that we wouldn't be facing a penalty.
So it's a similar essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cash in lieu of benefit situation.
of it.
Other questions on the contracts? Anybody? Give like a ladder of,
Yeah, just wanted to kind of lay everybody out.
so we're coming into, you'll see then the final amounts on the ones that are out for retirement within that contract, where they go, jump to the 6%, and that is very widely done. Here's the 6% raise, which is the maximum amount. Your TRS will go. We do the same for teachers as we do.
Yep, that model is the exact same. Final 2 years, 6% that's in the teacher contract.
Any questions? Chance for
I did ask Brad and Socorro what the amount was on the one administrator that didn't have an amount.
I was wondering that, but I.
Yeah, I emailed and asked.
Yeah, is there a reason why the one doesn't have it listed or just,
No reason.
okay.
Do you want to see it?
No, I mean,
I'll
at
I'll
some
I'll
point,
send it
yeah.
out to you. No, for sure.
I'm
I'll
it's
follow up
fine.
with that. Yep.
And the non-retirement years followed in suit with
They're actually a little less.
Less.
Yes.
Any other questions? I'll just put it all under one motion then of 7.1. We need to call out specific individuals.
Oh, that wouldn't hurt.
We have,
So the motion would be to accept the administrator contracts as presented for Alders and LeBeau through 2027. And Cox, Daly, and Kelly through 2030.
Do we have to say retirement contract?
But you can.
Do you want me? Do you want
Do
us
you want to
to?
talk about that?
Do you want us
We
to?
don't
We'd
wanna
like to
talk
hear
about
that
yet.
word used.
We don't want to talk about that. But we have one that's, we have a 27, a 28, and a 30, right?
So those others are already in existence.
Oh, okay, okay.
So of the 7 admins, only 5 contracts.
Those,
are
okay, okay, got it.
A part of this motion.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make the motion. If you will. All right, to accept the administrator contracts for Elizabeth LeBeau and Alyssa Elders through 2027, and, does it have to be 2 separate ones? Okay, and to accept the retirement contracts for Cox, Daly, and Kelly through 2030.
In a second.
Second.
Cletus?
Yes.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Cost? Landers?
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
Rapp?
Yes.
All right, I'm out. That's a big deal.
What?
Oh.
Apparently we're all gonna do this now.
That's a huge
Did you guys
deal.
coordinate outfits tonight
Can we-
for this?
No, we did not, actually.
Looks like you did.
I didn't even realize
I
it sitting
appreciate
next
your
to
hands
her.
sitting
Thank
up
you.
there.
I literally, you know, you throw the word retirement in, and even though it's a long way away, it's a possibility.
It goes
It was really fast though, so.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. Look at that, it's on video. What's that? It's on video, me dancing.
I did it without crying, too.
It's gonna be a heck of a party, though.
That's a fact.
Hey, we all might be off the board by then.
No, you won't.
Everybody will just leave all at the exact same time.
We'll all be off the board by then.
And mass exodus. It's an odd thing, I would imagine, for a district this small to have that many, you know, timed out at the same time, so.
You can always come back, you know, a lot of administrators come back.
I've heard the word
conversation about
interim
that.
is not a bad word.
Used it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get back to the fun discussion of the tennis courts.
Yeah.
So we were notified there's not an interest in a lease,
Correct. Correct.
and we purchased the land for $1.
That's everybody's recollection as far as anybody can put that
Mhm.
word together. I could not, I looked and I couldn't find any documents on it. But it's a very common thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, a property like that's like a free puppy, right? Yeah, we'll give it to you for $1, but then you've got to upkeep it for the next 100 years. Yeah.
So knowing that we're not looking at a lease situation, where's everybody feeling like they're at now?
First, may I ask if we can reasons?
I think it was just that, from the feedback that I got was just they plan on sinking money into it, and if they want to do that, then they want to make sure that it's theirs.
We don't just say never mind, and then thank you for updating everything, and then take it back.
I think we should utilize the space for something. It feels wrong to just give it away. I think I made that point clear, but I'm not the one that spearheads that or even knows where to start or how you as the educators would be able to walk down there and make it a ice skating rink, a shuffleboard, a farm, whatever the ideas are that are out there. Again, I don't like getting rid of something that you already have. That being said, if there's no plan to try to do that, you know, you're here for another 5 years and we're seeing it's about $2,000 a year upkeep, I don't think that's gonna make or break us, but then if you multiply it by 5 and we still haven't done anything, well, now we're sitting at $10,000 and that looks a little bit different, so I guess if we say no to selling that land, I'd like to maybe try to get a plan in place to do something with it. It's twice in 1 year we've been asked, what can we do with this? So it lets you know it's usable for something, but just not.
I think the thing that really kind of solidifies this in my mind is that if we wanted to do something, we literally got spots right here around this building. Consider this one big building, right? Whether it's on the south end of this property, out to the west side, and then if you go across the creek, we've got a ton of ground on that side too. And so, if this property were like Lincoln, and completely like tight landlocked, or like Blackstone is the same way, then I think that would be a little bit more of a concern for me. But if we wanted to, let's say we're going to put an ice skating rink in, right? We'd do it right there. We still wouldn't go 4 blocks away.
The hard part too is like the things that you were talking about to utilize, even if we did have an ice skating rink as a great example, we would only use it for such a small period of time, and then the rest of the time it would be like the community would want to use it, right? Because if you didn't, you locked it up and the community couldn't use it, it'd be like, well, they're hoarding something that would be great for everybody to utilize. So then I feel like it would be, we could still use it if it's the cities and not always the other way around, right? Like we wouldn't always want everyone to come in and use our stuff if it's during the school day, we wanna use it, but if it's a park sits empty and they said we have first right of like reserving, I guess, we could give them a list of all of our dates and make sure that nothing is booked on top of things that we would wanna use it for. Then I feel like it's to the community's benefit to have somebody sink money into it and make it a usable court, cause right now it's sitting there, even if it wasn't costing us anything, no one's benefiting from it, so what's the point of it being there as it stands today?
So it wouldn't mean we'd still be able to use it for the shot put. If so,
Yes, they
so
said
that was,
all of that, we would give them the dates of all of our track meets and all of that would be, yeah. And then they said they'd put a small parking lot in, which again, we could use for more parking for track meets too.
Anything that we currently use it for, at a minimum, anything we currently use it for, parking for not only track and soccer, but also junior tackle. They would make sure that those events were blocked off, and then for track meets, we do the shot put over there. They would make sure that we do. So those are the current uses, and you know, I can't promise what's going to happen a decade from now, but I know right now that if we went there and said, hey, we also want to do X, Y,
Track and
and Z.
field day in the spring for the, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Lincoln relays.
Yeah, the things that we're already using it for, we'll have it written into a contract that we continue to use it for those things.
And we use city-based facilities throughout the year for other things anyhow, like, right, like if we wanted.
Like Purple Park and things like that.
Like we go
Yep.
places, so it's not that even if it was a city park, that the district would have access to utilize it, even if it's not written in the contract, obviously. There could be other people that are gonna use it, but I think we would still have a benefit of using it.
For sure.
We also talked about if there's concerns around that shot put area, then proposing a secondary, which is making a weird line in the property that retained the area that the shot put was in and gave a lesser footprint to the city. That's an option too. Like just giving them what would be the parking lot, the courts and like the immediate vicinity around it, and we would retain the rest of it. That's an option. It doesn't have to go with that creek line. It just looks pretty on the map.
that'd be one of my only concerns, is to make sure that we still have access to the part we need for the,
And it is giving that a lot of thought to make sure that happens, so.
I think we have a really good relationship with the city, but I also think, the times we're using it are not Saturdays, when maybe more public and community would be out there using it. We're using it from 3 till 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or whatever our schedule is. So it's not so, community heavy then.
Holly, where'd your mind go? Go ahead.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I know I wasn't here last month, but I still, yeah, so.
Could we, if we have some concerns around it, do you think it would be a good idea to either publish something and allow, like, invite people to come to the meeting, but we would consider it for final approval as input and or put out like a survey to parents and community and ask people what their thoughts are on it? Like,
I would be.
are you in support of it, or are you not in support of it? What concerns do you have that maybe we haven't thought about yet? Like, what?
Would you like to, the easiest way to do it is to survey our parents? Is that what you think, a representation?
We could do our survey our parents, but also I think potentially put the survey like on our website and put out something that invites other people in the community to take it, because I would want people that aren't parents to also, because it's technically more of a taxpayer
Yeah.
issue of
I
transfer
think that's
information.
where I'm at, like similar mixed feelings, like I just don't know that I should be one of a few people at this table to make that decision, not knowing like down the road potential plans, like not saying like I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know, but like if we had to like close one of our buildings and like we needed this space closer to Northbrook for something else school related, I don't know if it's the farmer in me that's like, we don't, we're
Never
not
give up
giving
land.
away
It's
land.
land.
Like,
It's
yeah, land.
No, I get that.
That's, but I also know that these transactions happen a lot within city limits
Yeah,
too, so
well,
I
different
I
forms of
understand it,
community
but I'm
government
just
is what we're
afraid
talking
to, like, that's why I liked the lease option, like, even a 10-year, like, we would know more in 10 years where we're at, and if we wanted to bring the land back for whatever, I don't know, so that's where I'm at, like,
See, and I
it
guess,
makes me nervous.
see, and I think that's also mine, having grown up in this community and in having, when it used to be like the high school football field, the high school sold this to the grade school, like, they could have sold it to the community, you know what I mean, to the city of Mendota for the $1 and given, you know what I mean, and it's the same thing. Like, they sold it to the elementary district, obviously for a reason.
Because it was a school.
Yeah, but they could have like also sold it because it was Daniel Field and all that. They could have also sold it to,
And I'm just thinking, the city didn't wanna take over the football field, big time. I mean.
well, but
that's
they
the
could have,
line.
but they could have.
Right, but I'm
because
just
it's a
saying,
community
we had
track.
that property for how many years?
Yeah.
Well,
How
and-
long has this football been happening out on Route 52? And that property has just sat there, deteriorating. And I'm just saying, if this was prime property that we wanted to hold on to, or previous boards had thought, and previous administrations says, you know, let's keep that, you never know. And I'm just saying, it's just sitting there, doing nobody any good.
Yeah, and that's my point, either we should do something with it, but if we're not going to, then sell it, but I don't
But if
like
we've heard
that
from our
we're not doing
administration that they can't really get to anything
Right.
back,
Yeah.
then it would only be after school things, which we have the whole rest of the property for, and unless we anticipate there being a need beyond that whole track area, then I agree, like, are we being selfish to hold on to a deteriorating property that our community is interested in investing in via the city for community use?
But I'd also like, I mean, the city is saying, and let's start the conversation, we want to put a pickleball, but that's not the community saying we want another pickleball. What if they said, ask the Reimagine Mendota people, they've been out there asking 1,000 questions, what do you want in town? Was that one of them?
Well, and my question or my thought also is, let's say this is what they're saying they're going to use it for right now, but when it's the city's land, they can at any point do whatever they want with it, right? So like, could they put a building there or something, like what's to say, like what they would do with it down the road in 5 or 10 years, I don't know, and it's not this like
Well, I think the city
usable
owns a
space.
lot of property that already exists that wouldn't be so hard to
Access.
develop a whole brand new out of nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
And they just bought the whole Phelan property, I mean,
there's a lot of city land. I just think in the end, it's owned by the taxpayers no matter what. Either way we slice it, right now the land is owned by the taxpayers. It's either under the jurisdiction of the district, who has said we have no interest or ability to develop it into anything usable for us or anyone. And the city has said we have interest in it, so that's why I say, I think I would feel, like if we were to go out to the community and say, here's an opportunity to voice your opinion. And everybody says, yes, please, it looks ugly, it's falling apart, we would love a usable park that our community could use, then I don't know how we say, well, just in case, like in another 10 years go by and it sits there, like, if we have zero plan, if you're saying if we needed it to increase and put another practice field in, that we would put it here and not there, then I don't know what we're.
So I'm wondering if you, I was enlightened this year by Dustin Kent, who took me around on the side-by-side, and we toured all the property that belongs to essentially this building that you would say, oh, it's Northbrook property. The land out back over the creek is ridiculously huge. I mean, it's unbelievable how much land is back there, and unless you go back there and you are between that and then driving out to the track and then the side field, there's so much land with this district. And that to me is, and I'm just gonna say it, it's a maintenance nightmare kind of. And I say that because it's the amount of time that is spent out at just that facility for maintenance. You know, we love it out there, we use it, the kids love it, and it is community, it's such a community. When you said that about locking up the ice skating rink, I mean, I would love to lock that up just based on the amount of traffic that's out there and the amount of maintenance it takes to fix it. So this is kind of just a beautiful piece of land that could be restored, but never by us, I don't think, financially. That's my 2 cents of the time it would take and the finances to restore that little hunk that we used to park and throw a heavy ball on. And you know, I'm not minimizing that. I mean, it's important to us, but all in all, maybe 8 times maximum for that part that we use. And I just don't think we'd ever be able to afford or have the time to dig all that up and do the proper maintenance on it, you know? So I don't know. Actually, it's a beautiful thing either way. Somebody's gonna have a piece of land that could be turned into something beautiful. So.
Do you guys feel like, for people that are still a little bit on the fence, like giving the opportunity for the community to speak up and speak out and talk about the land and the use and the ownership of it would
So
feel
I
better?
thought I remember when they were here, they said that they were getting the calls to get more pickleball. They already kind of threw the feelers out already on that. Plus they also mentioned like, we don't have a very high budget, so it's not like they're gonna put anything extravagant over there, just kind of keep that to where it is, you know, just build upon the pickleball court. But I kind of thought that, as I remember, they said that they had already,
That
that's,
it was full out there all the time. Yeah.
that was the calls they were getting, hey, can you put more pickleball in there, so.
And it's probably because, like you said, it's already built for that use.
Yeah.
So it's only gonna take restoring an existing thing as opposed to building something brand new,
Right.
totally different from nowhere, but. I mean, proposal of this much land. Here's what it would look like if we were to retain a portion of it that we would use 8 times a year or whatever it is, so that we didn't have that concern. I mean, we could show it both ways.
I would like more.
Isn't that what we're elected to do, to make a decision like this?
Because it's our
Yes, but if we don't have consensus, like if we don't even have majority, then it's gonna be a no if we don't. So I'm just trying to feel like what, people that are on the fence, like what information, additional information coming to you would help you to make up your mind one way or another. I'm not feeling on the fence right now, but I can tell we've got 3 people that are. So I don't know that would have enough either way. Probably be a split decision right now.
I think you put the survey out there and see. I guess I'm gonna go back, you know, like they want it for pickleball. But a year ago, you know what I mean, it was a skateboard, like, you know what I mean? And like, so like, you know, I guess that's my, like, yeah.
So what if they decided 2 years from now pickleball loses its fame and
Yeah.
they decide to take that out and put in a playground, or they turn it into a basketball court? Like, I guess, what would they do with a park that would be oppositional to the district? A building for sure, but I think the likelihood of that, given the amount of property that they own that's already structural.
Right, I
don't
couldn't think of
it's
anything
gonna-
specifically, but
right.
I just.
If it became a splash pad, like I'm just trying to think of like what are the things that would become
Yeah.
of concern. Even the skate park, the only concerns we had were around the liability part of it, which wouldn't be our problem, right? So like if it did whatever it became, if it's gonna become recreational use for all people, including the school district, I'm just having a hard time coming up with a negative. But if we think that the survey, and I think we just wanna know, like, what do we want people to tell us that? 'Cause I think at some point, we're gonna have to let go. I went through a similar situation with a property my other district was selling, like, what if they do this, what if they, like, you're gonna have to be okay with that, it's no longer yours. If you move it away, it's not yours anymore. But it's adjacent to school district property. It's in a residential area. I don't think that there would be anything that could be established by the city that it's not a private owner, it's another public entity. But I guess what do you want? Are we just simply asking people to let us know if they'd be in support of transfer of land? Like, what do we want people to tell us?
I think Brenda, I think we were voted in to make these decisions, they'd like for us to make them instead of 3 or 4 more months of.
Well, we can't do it tonight because it's not on there as
Right,
an action
but
item,
I
but,
mean,
so
we
as long as
talked about it
before
a
our next
lot.
meeting, if we're choosing to vote on it at our next meeting, we'd have the next 4 weeks, it wouldn't slow the process one way or another. If we were to give an opportunity, or we don't put out a survey, we just invite people, this is we can just draw additional attention, it's on the agenda for next month, we have an open public comment opportunity, come voice concerns.
Yeah, and just let Reimagine Mendota, if they wanna campaign for, you know, putting in a pickleball court or whatever, more power to them. I guess I just wanna see it utilized, and I just think the city is in the best position to do that. To make it available for community use, this school district is not in a position to do that. The city is, and the city is willing to, as far as, you know, from what we've heard from them.
Because even if there was a grant for us to do it, again, it goes back to, we aren't gonna take our kids over there, period.
And
So then why would we use money to build a structure that's,
when we've got all this empty
Right,
land
right.
back that way.
I didn't even know who was on that thing. Yeah.
Stop by after school Monday next week and we'll take a walk.
Okay.
Bring your walking shoes, cause there's a lot.
And I went to hear that, I didn't know.
There's a lot of room back there.
I truly had no idea once you cross over, how big that area is back there. I gave all my suggestions for what we should do with that, and they were all
Years and
turned down.
years and years and years ago, they talked about that's where they would build a new school in Northbrook.
Mhm.
Really?
Okay. I'm that old.
Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna be our administrator retirement.
They're in the home. All right.
Sure, I'll leave this.
Yeah, so I will definitely do some special advertising for the November we're a week earlier for the November 13th meeting. Invite people to come and give their public comment.
We could do a press release from the board. Do that, a press release from the board, just, it's something that's up for consideration and the board invites people to come. If you can't make it, to send an email, let us know any concerns you might have. That way it's very transparent.
Yeah, we can, I like that, because that way we can say, hey, we advertised it, we let people know about, this is what was gonna be on the agenda, you had a chance to voice your opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find anybody who knows anything about press releases.
If it's from the board, I don't mind doing it.
See if we can get that.
Now, may I ask if we invite them for comments or whatever at the next meeting, are we voting then at that same next meeting?
We can have the action item on there, and then if there was enough concern over it, we could always vote to table the vote, but if we don't put it on the agenda, then we can't vote on it, so I feel like we should put it on there, and then if there's a mass level of concern, and we just, any one of us wanna throw it out there to table it another month, it's not gonna hurt the timeline, they said they wouldn't even do anything with it till spring, so, no.
I was just more interested in the comments or
Yeah.
in the feedback that you were talking about collecting, which we're not going that route, like, for my decision making, and so like.
So if we did a press release and we said, this is something that's gonna be on consideration for vote at our November meeting, please, the board invites, as always, send us an email, like, our email addresses are right on there, like, we could link right to it, send the board an email here, or invite, them to come in person and express their concerns or support of one way or another that evening. And then if we don't get anything, then it's not on anybody's,
It's not on anybody's radar.
they don't care.
Maybe it's just on our radar.
But I do think it puts out, like Brenda said, it puts out the due diligence, it's transparent, it's inviting comments before the meeting, at the meeting, and then if we do get some at the meeting that's swaying your decision, we just put it off to the December meeting and vote on it then, because it's not gonna hurt anything if we tabled it a month. I think everybody needs to be comfortable with it. And if you were a firm no, and that's the way it's gonna be forever, then we would obviously still at some point need to bring it to vote, but I think if you're kind of like, I just wish I had, blah, 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 like, we're not hurting anything
Yeah.
to take that extra time to gather the input. Okay. So, that's the plan.
Thank you.
Our other topic is our board meeting times.
Yeah, I'd like to put this on the agenda because I know at our last meeting, we bumped it up and some people liked that. And so, just to have a conversation to see, again, this doesn't matter to me at all or any of us because we're here whenever we're supposed to be here, right? But just however the meeting, kind of fits everybody's lives, does 6:15 or 5:45 work better than 6:30 so you can still get home and get into your evenings or have a little bit more left of your evening when you get home or,
We had talked about maybe just doing it through the winter months.
Yeah,
Being
and I
respectful of
reflected
that.
on that too, since our last meeting, this is just me personally. And I feel like this is a good time still, cause I attend other meetings for different organizations and they're all about this same time. And for me personally, like Jeff teaches till 5:30 some nights, so he's just getting home right as I'm leaving, and I can feed my children, otherwise it's like earlier than they're like, feed yourself or whatever. I don't know, this is a good time for me. I like taking care of stuff and then getting here or not rushing to get here.
of you, like I can't get home in time first, so like going home earlier is nicer, cause then I can feed them before 9, but they're used to it, like it's not gonna, it's 5 nights a week, so
Yeah,
it's not gonna
I
make
get
one
that,
bit of
yeah.
difference in my world, so.
Would you
But-
ever struggle to get here like from work, or would that be decent?
I just stay at
enough?
work until I know I'm going straight here.
Gotcha.
So I just like sit around there, but
That's one thing a month.
yeah, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to put the option out there in the
Yeah.
winter time. I know it's darker much earlier, and I always feel like by 9 o'clock it's like after bedtime in the winter. So, but our meetings don't go ridiculously here. At least not right now.
I'm trying to do it too.
Okay. So
It's kind of an hour, whatever it is, I'll be here,
Okay.
as long as it's on Thursday nights, because I work nights, Mondays and Tuesdays.
So stay for 6:30. And as a reminder, like you said, it is different next month because of Triple I. So we didn't bring forward our delegate. The things we'll have to vote on. We're gonna do that next time.
Yeah, we can do that next time.
Just gonna ask that.
Is it just the, I think isn't there just one?
There's one officially, and then there was like some other projects in there
Okay.
that might get called to the floor.
Okay.
But
Send an email and
we should do a straw poll. It won't be official, we don't officially vote on it, but we do the straw poll so that our delegate knows what, just going with our board's decisions.
Yep. We'll put that on the agenda for November 13th.
Also, I attended an IASB webinar this afternoon, which was very informative.
Invite.
Mhm. So the state of Illinois, again, is changing the way that they score out the student performance data. So like the percentiles will be there, but like the rankings and all that are totally different again. So the way that they were explaining it is essentially, we may see like a big jump and it might look like super positive in this next report card. But to really take a look at it, because they're moving the standards down, and so they don't want, several years ago when we moved away from, the one testing and went to the other testing platform, there was like a huge drop off, and then they were like, oh no, that looks too low, so then they moved the bar down so that the percentages went up. And so everybody's like, look, we went up 30%, but like the performance data really wasn't that much, and so it was kind of a warning to boards that as we come up on report card season, state report card season, that to really take a look at your program data over time and not put as much effort in comparison through the percentiles and the rankings, more of the student performance information. And also they had flip-flops, so like the state of Illinois used to be higher on math than ELA, and then it flipped the other way, and then it went much higher, and that's supposed to come back to more normal, so it may look like you decreased one or the other, but they're just trying to bring them back into more of a norm. So,
Yeah.
right? So it just makes it a little more complicated.
Yeah, our
Science.
Our November meeting, Tyler Pierce will be here and he'll have a large presentation on all of that. When we have conversations, we talk about not only state averages, but then also where we are with respect to the state as far as the percentile rank. And so because you keep it in that conversation, you base it on raw scores, then it really kind of doesn't matter as much what the cut scores are. And so, and then we also have, with our Fast Bridge, we use national benchmarks. So, but yeah, he'll have a big presentation on that next month.
And they also said too that there's a lot of people pointing right now around proficiency data, and like only 30% of students are proficient in X, Y, or Z. That proficiency is essentially like what you're reaching for, but not necessarily attainable. And so the proficiency levels versus like at grade level are two different things. So it's, even if you only have 30% of your students at that proficiency level, it doesn't mean that 70% aren't proficient in the topic. They're still performing at their grade level. It just means that the bar, he's like, you think about it as a track that's going around, and as you go, every hurdle is getting higher and higher. At some point, you're gonna not be able to go over the hurdle. And so it's kind of a good analogy, and I think as we get ahead of this data, it might be an opportunity not only for us to learn through Tyler, but I think it's gonna be important for parents to understand and learn too, since it's such a significant change. And maybe they won't notice it as much if it looks good this year, but then next year I'd hate for us to see like, oh, we had this great amount of growth last year, and then the next year. So, I learned a lot, and I deal with this all day long, so I was like, I do think that there is an opportunity there for some simple language to help parents understand a little bit more what it means when you see those reports too, that it doesn't mean your child's missing 70%, it just means that the bar gets higher, and every year it progressively gets higher until 11th grade when it drops down, which is interesting. It's like, they just know, so it comes back down. But the recording, it was recorded too, and supposedly we get the link to the recording, so I'm happy to share it if anyone else is interested in hearing about it, but it's very educational, and if you don't pay close attention to those, pop on there every once in a while, because there are some really great webinars that they do. I know the in-person events are cool too, but the webinars are nice, because it's just 1 hour during the day. Did we hear anything back about hosting the division meeting?
Did not.
Okay. We were asked to potentially host the,
They wanted us to host the spring division meeting, the School Board Association did. So I said, how about the fall of next year? And so I think there's a good chance that we will host next fall's division.
there's nothing else, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, thank you. Holly, don't leave me